Hello, my name is Dale Euler, and I'm the VOCA Program Manager here at the Utah Office for Victims of Crime. In this video, we're going to give you a brief rundown about how to complete your SAR report, which is required once per year and once per VOCA award that you have. So during this 2-year cycle, you're going to be doing one for year one, and then towards the end of this year one, we'll have you do one for year two. Now, this is required by the federal government, and it's something that we have to do to get your grant set up and inform them what you're doing with the money. So you'll go to this website, which all of you should have a link and a login for. If you do not, please contact your grant analyst and they can get you one. So you'll log in and you'll click on the SAR tab. It should go into your agency and you'll have a list of all the awards you've had with our office. Now this one is just set up as a test, and we'll be able to just go through and look at what we need to do for the grant analyst and then for you, the subgrantee. So this would be considered part one, questions 1 through 6, which is completed by your grant analyst, and it's based off of what you gave us in this outreach, this grant required information for VOCA. So we take the dollar amounts and the percentages that you entered here, and we complete this first part of the form. Enter the information for all the categories: the child abuse, domestic and family violence, sex assault, and underserved. Now this system is a little tricky because it doesn't take cents at all, so we have to round up or round down accordingly. And the other thing about this system is that it'll log you out after about 30 minutes if you haven't saved anything. So please take some time to, if you have to go through and look at all the questions first and get that information and then come back and enter it in. That's one thing that you can do, but just kind of give yourself a little bit of time to see where you're at and how long it might take you. You should be able to get part 2 finished in 30 minutes if you have all the information ready. So we complete part 1. You guys don't have to worry about this. So when you do see it, don't click on it. Don't change any of the numbers. Once we save and continue, now part 2 is available. Now these are questions 7 through 11, which you guys will have access to. And we'll need you to fill out this part about your agency. So question 7, service areas. For this practice one, we just put all counties. If you only serve 1, 2, or 3 counties, you can enter those specific counties. Question 8 is about your match, so what you've entered into your budget as match. The majority of our agencies have been taking advantage of the match waiver that's still available for this cycle. You would just click on D and then enter zeros. Question 9, now this is something that you guys have to decide as an agency, which you've been serving historically as your agency. You guys might know the answers to these right off the bat, but what kind of services are you providing with this money? Information referral, personal advocacy and accompaniment, emotional support or safety services, shelter housing services, criminal justice, civil justice system assistance. One thing that everybody should click though is F. Everybody should be assisting in some way with crime victim compensation benefits, or CVR. Now, the types of victimizations, this section, you can probably refer back to this document that you filled out because you've already indicated the types of crimes that you're going to be serving. Now, if you have any questions about the types of crimes, which we do see sometimes, like kidnapping, non-custodial versus custodial, stalking and harassment. If you click on the link to federal crime definitions, that will take you to this document, which is about 24 pages long and has a lot of information about what the feds consider what. Section 11. Oh, let me back up just a second. If you're clicking on other, we do see some things pop up, like if you're serving dog bite victims, or if maybe it was a business that got robbed and the business would like help. Now the person, if it was a cashier that got robbed, we can help the cashier because VOCA serves crimes against people, violent crimes against people specifically. So if it's not something that it's VOCA allowable, then do not enter it into the other section, please. You can't count that towards your VOCA. Question 11 is a little bit more of a tricky section. because it's going to be asking for your total budget for all victimization programs and services for this agency. So it's not just going to be what you are awarded through VOCA. Whatever other money is going towards your program, which you should be able to refer back to your application. And I always like to look at the PDF version of your application, but this additional resources section that you guys filled out, you should have listed all of those things, and that's where you can get them from to enter into this section. So you would be adding it all up together. So let's just say this agency had 10,000 in another state and 5,000 in local, and they didn't have any other federal funding, which most of our agencies do not. But you would add those all up together to get 34,580 here, and then you can move on. C is a little bit tricky because it's the total number of paid staff for the victimization program. So you might only have one person on your VOCA award, but you have 2 other people that work there, or some agencies have a lot, especially some of the nonprofits that we have. So you might only have 5 or 6 on your VOCA award, but you might have 20 people working for them. So for this one, we just entered 3. And D is a little bit more tricky too, because then it's asking for the total number of staff hours funded through this VOCA award, plus match. So it's not the other people that you have working there, it's just the people that you have on the award that are being paid by VOCA or counted as match. So let's just say those 3 people you have on there are counted as match or being paid through VOCA directly. Then you would add those hours. Let's say they're all full time, which is 40 hours per week. And so that's 2080 hours per year. And then you would just multiply that by 3 or whatever number that your agency has. You should know this. And entering that into D. If you have volunteers listed on your grant, this is where you're going to be E and F, where you're going to be entering volunteer staff supporting the work of this VOCA award, and the number of volunteer hours supporting the work. So this agency took advantage of the match waivers. If you did that, then you'd just be entering zeros in there. And then that's pretty much it for this section. You would hit save and continue. It'll go back to your grant analyst for them to review and certify. And then you'll be able to move on for the rest of the year, and you'll be able to fill out your PMT reports. But this is kind of the basis that we need to do first before you can get into that. So the next module that we have should be going over the PMT reports specifically.